What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring my individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest that's going to be coming on with me today. Her name is Alyssa Britton Harr. She is a junior student that goes to the University of Florida. That's an aspiring sports journalist. I love talking to college students all the time and getting to know their why of why they wanted to choose this major, this life, and just being able to share wisdom and also share experiences with them and hear about their experiences in college. So without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, talented Alyssa Britton Harr.
Hi,
Hello there. How we doing, Alyssa?
good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Just want to say thank you for coming on to my podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder. I really do appreciate it. And I would love to ask you, how's your week starting off so far?
It's been good. It's been pretty busy so far because I go to University of Florida, but my school has a bowl game here, the Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa, so we've been doing like media and stuff. So the game's on Friday, so it's been a little busy, but I wouldn't want any other way. So
I feel that. I feel that because it's a lot, seems like a lot of sunlight behind you. And I know it is dark as you know what here. I'm like, man, it's eight.
yeah, no, I had to get some lighting in here because it's pretty dark up in here. So
Got you. Okay, awesome, awesome. I wanted to reiterate to you why I wanted to have you on here. I am a sports journalist. I've been in the industry for about 6 years. Combination of starting off in Atlanta, Georgia, where I got my undergrad, and then I transitioned here to Minnesota, where I've been doing sports journalism here. I worked in a publication 2 years before I went to freelance. So now I'm a freelance journalist, being able to cover
awesome.
high school, college, and professional now. So I'm very happy doing what I do. I love doing what I do. I have multiple jobs though. As a journalist, I also do substitute teaching and I also do sales. So I'm definitely
Hey,
I'm all of the way around.
you're all over the place.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I love talking to students. I know you're a junior student, if I'm not mistaken, at the
Yes.
University of Florida. So I love talking to students about their why of why picking this profession, but also hearing about what you've done so far. Because University of Florida has a great journalism program. As I've known some of my colleagues that went there and graduated in that program. So once again, Alyssa, I really thank you for coming on here for sure.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be able to talk about some things.
No doubt. So the first question that I always have, Alyssa, is the same as always with all of my guests here, and that is, what is your why? What is your why of doing what you do? Did you have any role models, any inspirations that you wanted to be like, as far as aspiring to be a sports journalist? But what is your why of wanting to become a sports journalist in this industry?
So when I really think back to everything, so I'm a journalism major and now I do I specialize in sports and media, but I haven't always loved like sports. I never knew I wanted to be a sports journalist until about like my senior year of high school, but I've always loved journalism. I remember like in the third grade, I would always just write stories, and that's kind of my way of, I guess, being emotional as I would just like write. In high school, I joined the yearbook, so I really got like me and my best friend did that, and we would take photos and I'd write all the stories, and we kind of would like tag team because she didn't really like to write all the time. Um,
Sure, sure.
and so I did that, and then my senior year of high school, my dad through his company, we ended up getting a box at Raymond James, which is where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play. And so I went
Yeah,
to every single game, and I saw Erin Andrews, which is now one of my inspirations. She was there. And I saw her interview Tom Brady, which I was pretty cool to be there during that era. So
sure,
that was
sure.
awesome. And so I really was like, okay, I really like sports. And then I ended up interviewing like my high school basketball coach, and I did a bunch of different things like at my school, which it really wasn't a thing. We didn't do any of that, but I just kind of did on my own because I wanted to. So that kind of piqued my interest, and then ended up going to University of Florida. my twin brother actually goes there too. So that was kind of like the segue in because I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go. I'd applied to a bunch of different schools, but that was kind of the telling, which obviously worked out great for me. So, and
Sure.
then I started there just kind of doing like beat writing. For different sports, I started off on golf. So I learned a lot about golf, which I didn't know at first. And then things just kind of like took off. So that's really the why I would say is more about telling stories on the journalism side because it wasn't always sports. But I
Mhm.
love just talking to people, and that was really what piqued my interest when I became more involved with like the sports side of things.
Absolutely. The storytelling is like number one.
Yes.
I can't tell you, Alyssa, how many times, and I'm sure it's happened to you as well, walking around the halls of Florida, how many people that you see that you do stories or videos with. I've had people come up to me while I'm pumping gas saying, "Thank you for doing my story." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks, ma'am. No problem." And I'm like pumping gas. I have no idea which direction they're coming from, but they come up to me with appreciation, and I love that. That's why I do it, because I do love storytelling. I do love talking to people, and you do some really cool stories, like some stuff that you
Yeah.
never thought in your mind you would ever do.
And everyone has a story, despite what they say. Everyone has a story. So,
Mhm. I was just about to say that, and your story is just as special as anyone else's. No question about that. Now, you talked about going to the University of Florida right now. You said you had several other schools that you applied for, though. What were some of those other schools that you applied for?
yeah, so my dream, I never even visited because it was kind of most people are doing their visits during COVID. But my
Mhm.
dream was the University of Miami. I saw a girl go there and I had this like because they have a good broadcast program as well, is when I knew I kind of wanted to do on-camera stuff. But other than that, I was really into SEC school. So I did like Alabama, Ole Miss, Auburn, and I got into everywhere. But like University of Miami, they kind of deferred me at first. And I don't even know about that decision. I already decided I was going to UF before that, but it ended up being great. My brother was definitely a big factor in that. And then I learned they have all these other things for sports and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there. But it honestly has been great so far. And I think for any school, if you can find opportunities, I think it always works out. So
Absolutely. I always try to stress to people now more so than ever, especially the high school. I teach adolescent, well, substitute teacher at adolescent schools, I should say. But I always tell them, don't really fixate on the school as far as the big names. Like everybody talking about the name of the
right.
school is very important. I think what you make of your experience, because you definitely want to make of your experience, no matter what school you go to, you want to try to do as much as you possibly can in the profession that you want to pursue in. I went to Kennesaw State University, and mind you, they did not know about Kennesaw State University at all. Nothing about Kennesaw State. When you think about Atlanta schools, you're thinking about UGA, obviously SEC,
Right.
and you're thinking about Georgia State, which is Atlanta downtown, which is one of the popular places in Atlanta to be at. But Kennesaw State is out in the woods, no question about it. But it's starting to pick up more traction. But I learned a lot of skills there that I apply now to my everyday work. So I always say, just make of the experience, like you said, and don't really focus on just the big school. But in Florida, I can imagine that's pretty hard because you got a lot of really good schools. I mean, USF is in Tampa, Miami. You got Florida and
Yeah.
Gainesville. You go to. You got a lot of big schools there in Florida.
Yeah, we have Florida State too, but that's
Oh
always
yeah.
the side. We're big rivals with them. So if you're a
I
Gator,
didn't
you're
want
a
I
Gator.
didn't want to mention that, Alyssa, because it was just such a huge thing. That last football game was like, wow, like you know
Hmm.
what I mean. But y'all did come out on top. But yeah, that last
We
football
did.
game
We did.
was
Yeah, I have a lot of
great.
friends who go to Florida State, so it was like funny being on the field because they were like, "Oh, we see you," and I was like, "Yeah, your team's not doing very good."
Yeah, no, not at all. And they showed it after the game too. Now, how far
Yeah,
is Tallahassee from Gainesville?
it's 2 hours.
Okay, about 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I only asked because I've never been to Florida. I've never been to Florida, which is actually going to change next month because I'm going to, I don't know if you ever heard it, it's called Podcast Expo. It's the podcast expo that
I
they do
think
in
I may have heard of that. It sounds familiar.
it's in Orlando, Florida. So this
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to that. It's like a conference of dealing with different podcasters and networking opportunities. So I will be there in Orlando in the first or middle of January for about 4 days. Have you been to Orlando?
Oh, I have been to Orlando. It's very busy because you've got
Very
Disney
good.
World, you've got it's very built up. There's a lot going on there.
Okay, so I definitely need a couple of things to do. Because obviously I'm a tourist. So if you can help me out, let me know what should I do when I touch down to Orlando.
Well, I know the downtown area, there's a lot. I don't even know specifically what I could tell you to do just because there's so much, but I know there's a Winter Park. It's a big area there. I don't, do you know exactly like where in Orlando you'll be?
Yeah, near the Sea World, the Renaissance Sea World.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants. It's more like strip mall area. Disney World obviously is there.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
yeah, there's a lot. I can't, I'm not from there obviously, so I don't know the specific like restaurants, but I know there's a lot that you can do. So if there's anything you need, it's probably there.
Okay, I feel
Yeah.
you on that. Just wanted to kind of throw that. I know I put you on the spot for sure, but yeah,
No,
absolutely. I
I
like
wish
it.
I knew more. I just haven't been there in a while.
Okay, no doubt, no doubt. Let me ask you some favorite questions. And you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. So, Alyssa, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Oh, that's a tough one because I don't do a lot of cooking. I would say definitely, definitely just I like to do like chicken and then like broccoli, and I'm kind of weird. I eat it with like hummus. So that's what I cook at school if I do cook something.
Okay. Definitely different. No question. I haven't heard of the hummus part. I mean, the hummus is good,
Yeah.
but not on the chicken and broccoli. I haven't heard that. But hey, listen,
Well,
listen, to
I
each his
dip
own.
it in there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, listen, that's
Yeah.
a typical college student though that says that they don't cook much. So I totally
Yeah.
understand that. That's not foreign. So I feel that. Okay. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Ooh, I've been to a few concerts. I would say probably my favorite. And this is just based off performance as a whole. I would say I went to Taylor Swift last year. She was just like amazing. Um,
I
but
don't think I've
I like country music a lot, so I've been to like Luke Combs and I've seen all those. But performance wise, Taylor Swift was pretty amazing. So
I definitely love me some Luke Combs. I'm not huge
yes,
in the country, but Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen,
yes.
those two artists for sure I like. I don't think I've met a woman who does not like Taylor Swift. I have not met any. I'm sure they're out there, but I haven't met
Yeah.
one that doesn't like Taylor Swift. I'm a huge 1989 fan of her.
Mhm,
That's my
that's a good
album I like.
album.
So yeah,
That's a
great
good
album.
album.
Okay, that's what's up. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Ooh, I'm actually about to go there again on Saturday, but Big Sky, Montana is probably my favorite.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's just
what's there
kind
in
of
Montana?
it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, which I think when you like live a busy life is just kind of like nice. But we're actually going to a resort, so we're gonna do like skiing and a bunch of different stuff. But I mean, being in Florida, it's kind of nice just to go somewhere cold and it's really pretty out there. So you got Yellowstone too. I've been to Yellowstone before. So that's definitely one of my top places.
Well, if you want to go somewhere cold, come on out here now, because Minnesota definitely got it. Minnesota is definitely cold
I
right now.
was just in DC for the Army Navy game and I that was cold. Cold up
That
there.
was okay. That's awesome. So, is that a family trip going to Montana?
Yes, it's gonna be a family trip. Me and
That's
my
awesome.
twin brother mentioned we're turning 21 on Saturday, so it'll be like our
Okay.
21st birthday
Well,
type of
turn
trip.
up. I know it's going to be a very good time. I'm actually, I don't know if you're snowboarding or you're skiing, but I'm actually doing that myself. Next month.
Fun.
Next month, I'm skiing for the very first time. I
Okay, I'm gonna be a first timer too, so we'll see
Okay,
how that goes.
let's share our experiences the next time that we talk. Okay, so yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, that would be awesome. I would say my favorite place to travel to is Jamaica, that I've been to. Was
Awesome.
pretty beautiful place. So, and I think my next place that I want to go to, well, I'm scheduled to go to is Greece, which is next June. So I'm gonna
Very
get a
cool.
chance to go there on a cruise to go to Greece. So yes, absolutely. I'm a sports person. You're a sports person. So this next question has to be that. Okay. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV. Favorite sport you like to attend in person.
Oh, these might come hand in hand because I am a big football person.
Mhm.
But I will say there's two different experiences. When you're watching it on TV, you're able to kind of see more of like how the defense lines up and stuff versus like in person, it's kind of hard. So I
Yep.
say my answer for that is both, but you get different experiences each time. Like if you're in person, but in person, obviously you got the environment going and everything else. But I think it's if you want to know the game and understand it a little more, I think it's fun to watch it on TV.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on watching on TV football. No question. They look very miniature in these stadiums if you're ever high up. Now, if you're on the sideline, that's awesome. You got an awesome spot to watch the game. But
Depends how tall you are, though. I struggle sometimes. I'm short out there, so I can't see everything.
okay. I thought you look kind of tall. I was thinking you might maybe 5'6", 5'7".
I'm 5'4".
Oh well, that's not too. Well, I can
No, it's
understand that.
not too bad. But when you're with guys that are like 6 foot plus, it's kind of.
That's true. That's true, and definitely understand that because I'm not six. I'm 5'11". I'm close, but not 6 feet. So I totally understand that. Okay, I'm with you on that. Basketball will be the one I would like to see in person, though. I love basketball for sure. Last set of favorites, and that is favorite place that you like to eat at. I'm a huge foodie person. If I ever do come there to Gainesville, um, I would love to know, or where's a good place I should go eat at?
Gainesville, besides all like the college students go to the fast food restaurants, as you'd probably know. But downtown, there's this place called Oakbrook. It's called Oak, sorry. It's so good. They have like these big biscuits and they're just like for breakfast, it's the best place to go to.
Girl, you have definitely put a smile on my face. Ain't
Yes.
nothing like a biscuit. I'm telling you right now. I love it. I love it, especially
Oh
with
yeah.
jam, homemade jam. That's so good.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty good. I'd highly recommend.
All right. I definitely will keep that in mind for sure. That's what's up. Let's talk about your day to day. Now, obviously, being a junior, you got probably full time classes, so that means a minimum of at least 4 classes. I'm sure that you obviously are participating in the athletic department by doing all different things with the Gators and maybe different various sports. Obviously, football. Maybe when football's done, you'll do basketball or some other sports. Talk to me about your day to day of doing sports stuff. How much sports stuff do you do? Is it just broadcasting? Is it producing? Is it writing? Is it radio? And also trying to fit in multiple classes. 'Cause like I said, I'm pretty sure you take a minimum of 4, but you probably even take even more.
Yeah, so I will say this past semester, I like to be busy, I would say myself. And I definitely overworked myself, but at the end it all worked out. But with
Hmm.
classes, I took 15 credits this semester. So that was
Okay.
a lot. And then obviously with football every Saturday I was doing something. But I also was interning with Fox Sports at the same time. So I had to work a minimum of 16 hours. And then I was traveling to most of those games as well. And then we have our weekly meetings. So that was a lot for me. So that's like not a typical day to day I would recommend for anyone, but I wouldn't change it. It was awesome, such an awesome
Hmm.
experience, and I learned so much. But as of now, things are kind of slowing down just a little bit because it's like Christmas break and everything. But when I get back, I'm going to be taking, I think, 18 credit hours. So that's going to be a lot. And then we'll do, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, and then we'll do like basketball. And then for my spring break, I'll actually be spending it in Arizona doing MLB spring training. So that'll be super fun. So it's definitely
Mm.
challenging. And I will say, as a college student, you want to have a social life too. And I don't always have that. But at the end of the day, it's like I know I'm working towards my career and doing those types of things. So you do
Mhm.
have to kind of put that aside because I mean, I don't know the last time I tailgated with my friends. And they'll sometimes be like, "Oh, you have to do one game," but then I'm like, missing a game makes me more sad. So, you
Right.
it's what you
Mhm.
choose. But
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely overload myself a lot, but I think it also tests like what you can handle because at the end of the day, I know I'm always gonna get whatever I need done. Like it's gonna be submitted, it's gonna be done.
Hmm.
So that's kind of my model. I wish I was an organized person. I told you I wrote everything down. I definitely don't do that at all. I probably should start, um, but I'm not the most organized, but I try to be.
Well, it seems like you living pretty good in chaos. So that's okay. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I do
Yeah.
love the fact that you talked about your day to day. Like you said, 15 hours, that's a lot. I'm taking on that, but you know what? We're gonna up the ante. Let's take 6 classes this next semester,
Yeah.
8, and do more games because football is 1 game a week. Basketball got to be at least 2 to 3 games per week. But I love it.
Right.
I love that though because in this industry, it's like that. And you do want to challenge yourself to see how much you can take on, because you got to know what the breaking point is. But you also understand that sometimes when you do this, um, it's not really work. It's fun, and you love to do it. This is
Yeah.
something you love to do, and only people that really love it as passionately as we do, and maybe students that's in the same athletic department can understand. Sometimes friends on the outside don't understand. I'll give you a couple
Right.
examples of what happened with myself. So I was in Atlanta, Georgia, going to classes. I took 7 classes 1 semester, so I got an overload. I was also working full time. I lived in my own place. I had my own place at the time. So I took that and I was working overnight 9 to 9. 4 of my classes were strictly online, and 3 of my classes were in school. But I also was doing a sports radio show, and I also was doing. We had a school magazine, so I was doing articles for the school magazine. And then my crazy self also was doing football games every Friday night. And my
Wow.
friends would tell me, they would tell me, and they would say, Chris, we want to turn up. We want to go to the bar. We want to have a good time. We want to be able to hang out with you. And, you tell them I would love to do that. But, bro, I can't do that right now because I have a vision. I have a goal. I'm working on these games. I'm doing a lot of different things. I got homework to do. And you have to really make that decision. It's tough, but you got to make that decision to put that to the side. And your day one friends understand that. They know that
Yes.
and they respect it. And there's some people that might not. And then there's some friends that you just have to kind of leave behind. But most friends would understand that. Um, and that's kind of equivalent to what you're doing. Like, you would love to tailgate with your friends. You would love to be out with your friends. You would love to have a social life. You seem like a wonderful person to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind hanging out with you. And I'm sure your friends
Thank
feel
you.
the same way. But you are on a mission. And when you're on a mission
Mhm.
and when you're doing an internship, have multiple things going on, that social life would eventually come back. You'll eventually get that social life back. But right now you're trying to graduate and you're trying
Yeah.
to also learn as much as you possibly can being in this industry. So I commend you on just doing that. And just having that discipline to be able to do that because
Yeah.
that's tough to do.
Sometimes it's hard, but I think just there's like always a balance. So I know like my roommates, it was all of their 21st birthdays this semester. So I made it a point, I'll hang out with you then. But then other times it's like, okay, I've got to lock in. I've got things to do. So
Yes,
just finding that
absolutely.
balance. It's sometimes hard, but it's good to like be able, sometimes you need to be able to be social and do those types of things.
Without question. No question. And that's a great segue to this next one. That's kind of school life and mental health. I think balance is a great word that you use because a lot of times, especially when you have school and a lot of classes and homework, and when you're dealing with journalism, we don't deal with a lot of tests. As juniors and
Right.
seniors, we're in upper level classes. We're dealing with a lot of papers. We're dealing with a
Hmm.
lot of writing. That takes time to do. And you're talking about an internship that you're doing and stuff that you got involved. Tell me, how do you keep your mental health strong without experiencing burnout type of situations, or maybe where you feel like you're overwhelmed? That's one of the words I wanted to throw out. Overwhelmed. How do you keep manage your school life and also your mental health?
Yeah, so definitely something I learned this semester is I'm not Wonder Woman. I can't do everything because
Mhm,
that was something I had my schedule like packed. I was like, I'm gonna do this, all this stuff.
mhm,
And then as I kept going, I was like, I was getting really burnt out and I couldn't always do it.
Sure.
And so I kind of had to put some stuff aside, or I was like, hey, like I can't fully commit. There's moments where I usually am super good at answering everyone. I'm super on top of everything. I just wasn't. And I've had to realize, that's okay. But also my schedule is getting a little bit busier. So I have to prioritize, hey, like this is my time that I'm gonna have for myself. So going to the gym helps a lot. Or I'm a big walker. I like to just go on walks around campus and listen to music.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes gym is just too much of a dedication. I will say when you're trying to lift weights and you're thinking about what set you're gonna do next. So I was like, I'll just walk. I'm just walking and that will give me time where I can call someone if I need to, or I can just like send an email or something when I'm just walking. So
Absolutely.
that's helpful. I would do that around campus a lot and I would just go. Sometimes my roommates will try to come and I'm like, I just gotta go. I just walk. But yeah, I think also I will say I'll give credit to my roommates because we'll all talk at night and stuff like that. So being able to have people that you can like talk to and they'll
Now,
understand
right.
I see and what I'm doing too is
Right.
helpful just because like you are in college, you're on your own. So being able to have people around you, which they are supportive, so that's super helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely gets hard. I will say like when I was doing the Fox internship, there was moments where I was up really late and then I have to get up early because I was also working too, like a
Right.
part-time job on the side. So I was up at like
Okay.
5:30 most days, and then I would have to go to class, and then I do all this stuff, and then I was trying to do club lacrosse because as a sports journalist, I missed kind of playing a sport. But then there was a point I had to stop going because I was like, this is getting a little too much because I am in school, so I have to do school as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely had to kind of figure those things out throughout the semester. But I think now I'm like, actually, even though I'm taking 18 credits next semester, it's actually an easier load. It's not as like strenuous. It's more of like I'm doing the anchor show we have, like some of those things count as credits. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit better. But this semester was all like a bunch of essays and stuff. So we're like you're saying, like it was time consuming to be able to have to like sit down and put that time aside. So
Oh, no question. No question about it.
yeah.
Yes, we've been there, done that. I totally understand
Yeah.
what you're talking about. Let me ask you, because I know I felt it in my junior year, which was the transition into start taking, upper level classes. Has
Right.
this been the toughest year so far of your college career?
Yeah, I'll even say like I'm not even I mean now I'm halfway through it, but first semester it's definitely been the hardest just because like you're in it and this is what you want to do, so it really helps. And luckily this is what I want to do. Like I know like
Yeah.
even though it's chaotic, that
Yeah.
I love it and I love it through chaos, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
for sure, yeah, it's definitely been the hardest I think too because it's like these are the classes you need to graduate. So it's like you got to do it and you have to push through.
Yep.
But I will say like I realize now that I mean, because everything I'm doing, it's like, okay, your grade, like your grades do matter, but also all these experiences, and obviously that depends what major you do. But I know
Yeah.
like I'm covering a sporting event, maybe I'm a little late on this assignment or something like that. It's fine. It's okay. I'm doing more than the school, so it's okay. I give myself grace a lot of time.
Absolutely. I felt the same way, Alyssa. I really did. I mean, I thought my junior year, freshman, sophomore year, I was just wilding, doing my thing, kind of partying a
Mhm.
lot. I didn't know what I really wanted to do. But junior year is when I really locked in and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. But it was tough. It was tough because it was like, okay, no more um no more really like playing around. Like this is like
Right.
serious business and working. And this is like real life stuff that we're doing, like that internship with Fox Sports. Like I
Hmm.
had to start getting into the mindset of, and I'm sure you have, like, man, I could possibly do this as a job. And I'm not gonna have to wake up for classes anymore or do this anymore. So I'm gonna have to do this as a job
Right.
so I can take this very seriously. Um, I love that though. I really do. What was the most fun game that you did this semester that you was a part of the production or part of the game that you went to that you was like, wow, this is amazing. What game was that?
I actually have two because I've done college and NFL. So I would say for college, Florida, as I'm not sure if you know, but there was a lot of stuff going on in the beginning of the year. We weren't as good. Our coach almost got fired.
Yep,
So it was a lot.
absolutely.
But we came back at the end of the season. I would say that final win against Ole Miss was awesome. It was a
That
great
was a big
experience
one.
to be there.
Hmm.
And just the team feeling that is just awesome. And knowing that you're a part of that, especially as a school that I go to, that's pretty amazing. I'll say I am a Tampa Bay fan, so I'll give it a Bucks game I was at. I would
Hmm.
say the last game, I actually did this with CBS Sports, but it was Bucks Raiders game. And that was just awesome. I mean, the Raiders aren't that good, so it was kind of, speculated the Bucks were going to win anyway. But I haven't been to a game that they've won. I really was giving myself like I'm the problem. Like I can't come to these games because they're losing. So it was just great to be there. The first win they got that I was there, it was pretty
Mhm.
cool. So I'm gonna say that.
I would say I do like the Bucks. Every win that the Bucks have, I respect it. I do.
Yes.
Except the last one because I'm a Chargers fan, and they whooped on them pretty good
Yeah.
last game. Well, I grew up in San Diego, so that's why I'm a Chargers fan. LT is my favorite player, Daniel Tomlinson. So I love the Chargers, but they did us so wrong. That last thing, they really did. And Florida, it was rocky. A lot of people was calling for that coach's job early in the
Yes.
season. No question about it, because they had some losses, and it was like, this do not look like the Florida Gators. But they finished
Mm-mm.
strong. If I'm not mistaken, they finished 7-5 with
Yes.
for the record. Had a huge win against Ole Miss as well, which was probably their best win of the season. I'm going off of a guess with there, but I think that was their best win. As an outsider, because I'm a UGA fan,
Okay.
obviously, yes, go dog. I didn't want to start off with that
No,
because
it's okay.
you might have clicked off the interview if I would have started off with that. But yes, no, I'm a UGA fan for sure. From your perspective, how good did it feel to see Alabama out of the CFP playoffs?
It felt pretty good. I would say, well, the playoffs are kind of crazy this year anyway because they just added more teams and obviously like the changing in the SEC and all of that. But I mean, it's nice to get other teams in there, give the opportunity. I think that I feel the same way with like the NFL playoffs too. Like this year, there'll be teams in there that haven't been in, like the Commanders, and those teams haven't been in there for a while. So I think like obviously Alabama's a good team. They get some of the best recruits, but it's great to see other teams in there because it brings a different level to like the playoffs and everything each year versus, it's like with the Patriots, it's like the same team every year. Like obviously they're good, but you want something that's unexpected. So that's what I like about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought adding more teams is great, no question about it. This is their first year doing it, so give them some grace.
Yeah.
Because obviously their trial run of picking teams and where putting them on the slot is a little different. I
Right.
did think Arizona State, woo, they jumped up like so many spots in the one game. I thought that
Hmm.
was interesting. I did like the fact Alabama was out, though, not the fact that I just dislike Alabama personally, but I do think they're a good football team. But I don't think that they should have been in the playoffs. That was a huge argument with them and SMU being in. But I thought SMU deserved it based
Yeah.
upon the record for sure. So yes, absolutely. I want to ask you about advice, Alyssa, and that is advice on what would you tell a college student about being involved in their athletic department and being involved in sports and journalism, your program there at Florida. What kind of advice would you give someone that wants to join those things?
It's funny you say that because I actually spoke to a girl that goes to Purdue earlier this morning, and she was just asking me because she was applied for a Fox internship, so I was kind of just giving her some advice. But I think with Florida, obviously, I got lucky. It's a great school, and there's a lot of great sports. I mean, it's literally a major there. But
Yep.
that's not every school, right? And so I think for me, I got involved with the Alligator, which is a lot of beat writing. I did. That really helped me with my writing, along with just understanding the sport. Like, if you can write it, how can someone understand the game and that aspect of it? And then I've done a little bit of radio stuff, and I'm just now starting to do more on air. But I filmed videos myself. I've just kind of like gotten a camera and done those types of things. So I think one, being versatile is very helpful because I would love to sit here and say that I want to be a sideline reporter and I want to do all those things, which is definitely my goal. But I think everyone has to start somewhere. And so just learning everything is super helpful. But I think that, getting involved in your athletic department, wherever that is, because I mean, for my school, I was telling you in high school, we didn't have any of that. That wasn't a thing, which I know some high schools do have like the morning show and they do those types of things that we didn't. But
Right.
people love to talk about themselves. Like that's a known thing. And people love to like, if you're interested, they'll be interested in you. So I think that for me, when I interviewed my coach, like that was super awesome of him. And then some of the players there, that's some of the first time they'll be doing something like that. So just asking people, because people will be willing to give you a shot, obviously, if you put yourself out there. And then social media is obviously a big thing nowadays. I'm not the best at it, I would say, but you can always try. I've done a little bit like the TikToks and editing and stuff like that. So I've been trying to do a lot of that. But
Sure.
you can do interviews with people if you reach out to them. I know, like at my school, we go through like the communications department and those types of things, but you don't
Mhm.
always have to do that. Every school is different. So reaching out to athletes, asking them to do interviews, posting stuff on social media. And then obviously, if your school has like a newspaper, on air stuff, I think that's super helpful to get started. But being versatile in everything, I think if you want to learn how to take photos, learn how to do video, everything will
Absolutely.
help you at one point because eventually, like I know if I'm doing something, I'm a news anchor in like a year or so when I graduate, that you sometimes you have to go film your own stuff. You have to edit it yourself, and then you have to write your own script, and then you have to go on air. So a
Yep.
lot of it all ties in together eventually. So I think being able to do everything is super helpful.
Yeah, what would they call it? A jack of all trades? I think that's what they
Yes.
call it. Right, to be that, and you do definitely have to be that. But to do all those things and be versatile is amazing because not only do you get to acquire more skills, but you also get to see what you don't want to do. So it kind of shortens your path
Right.
on where you want to go into this industry, and what you would like to do. I love that. I think I would add on to that and say at least what I tell my high school boys and girls, and even some college people when I cover them as well, is be comfortable being uncomfortable. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, especially in this industry, people are not comfortable with stories they do, maybe not the area that they're in, maybe not with the coworkers that they're working with, maybe not with the sports that they're covering because they might not know a lot about it. But one of the things that I always say is be comfortable being uncomfortable. Turn that uncomfortable situation into a comfort. I think it helps you deal with situations that are hard, that are challenging, and it allows you to be able to grow as a not only as a person but as a reporter in this business,
Right.
and you do that very well. And being able to challenge that and being able to challenge yourself, I love that because you're going to be able to deal when you get out of school. It's going to be cake for you trying to be able to
I
do it. Really
appreciate
is.
that.
It's going to be very easy because you talk about 15 credits, 18 credits. That is the one thing, Alyssa, when I graduated and walked across that stage, when I finally got into the business, I was like, is this it? I was like, this all we doing? Oh, okay. Okay, I think I can do this. And then you start to do it more and more, you get better and better, but then you
Right.
realize how much more time that you have to do things because you're not as busy because this is just your life. People are paying you to do a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that's why I love the fact that you was taking on those credits and being busy because that's exactly the same way that I try to encourage people to do. Be as busy as possible because once school is over, then it's time to really get busy and get into the real
Yeah.
world.
And I'll add on to that as well is like for me, a lot of this stuff didn't pick up until my junior year. So I think
Sure.
being patient too, because a lot of people, like the girl I was talking to, she's a freshman, which I was super ambitious as well. But you have to understand when people are hiring, they're looking for people that they could potentially, work for them, those types of things. So
Mhm.
taking the opportunity, and like, I mean, I did the writing, I did all the other stuff before I even got the internship with Fox and doing other things. But even still, like, I will say is obviously know your worth and what you want to do and like where you want to go so you don't get stuck. But I've been the person getting the talent, the coffee. I've been the person taking out the trash, like helping with the crew, setting things up. Like it's not always fun, but it does
Mhm.
eventually help you out and get you to your future. And anything goes a long way if you meet the right people as well.
Absolutely. No job should never be too good for you. No question
Yeah.
about it. Speaking of internships, do you have one lined up for 25 yet, or are you still working on that?
I'm still working on that. I actually need to submit the application, but I've been doing some work with CBS recently as a runner, so I'm gonna apply for that for the summer. And we'll kind of see. I have a couple other ones I was looking at, but I haven't done any applying yet. So
Okay.
that'll be something
What?
that needs to get done this week. So
That is awesome. That's awesome to hear. When is graduation?
for me, I'll be graduating next spring, so spring of 2026.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. As I
Yes.
always tell people, by May of next year, you definitely want to start applying for some jobs.
Yeah.
By the end of spring. By the end of the spring, definitely start applying. If you haven't already built those connections, I don't know if you have business cards, which is something that I always try to tell people to do. Get business cards with your face on them and try to attend as many career fairs as you possibly can, because you want to pass those out and you want to definitely have people take a look at your resume, take a look at your portfolio. I'm not sure if you have a website or portfolio yet, but definitely something that you may want to inquire. If you already have one, hey, you already a step ahead.
It's in the
You
works. I'm working
got
on it.
got you. It's just something that I know my mentors told me for sure. Because once I ended my junior year, I had an internship with the Knoxville Ice Bears. Now, mind you,
Okay.
this is my first ever internship. Before I get to the next question, I'll tell you this. First internship I ever had, Alyssa, I caught the Megabus. Are you familiar with the Megabus?
I am not.
So the Megabus is like a bus where it's pretty much Greyhound. If you're familiar with the
Okay.
Greyhound, but it's bigger. It's much bigger because it's a double decker kind of bus. And I caught that from Atlanta, Georgia to Knoxville because I didn't have a car. I didn't have my own car. So I was catching that for 3 months, all throughout the spring semester of my junior season, and I would work full time. And then Friday and Saturday, I would go to Knoxville and do an internship, and it was a operations game day operations internship. That's how like dedicated I was to be able to want to do that. And I say that because internships are important, whether they're paid or unpaid. We just
Hmm.
talked about do no job is never too good not to do because you really develop really good habits of working hard when you start working for these people. I networked with them, and then it springboarded me to that senior year to where I interned for the Georgia Swarm, which is our lacrosse team in Atlanta, Georgia. So I interned for them, which springboarded me to getting my to graduating and then getting my first full time job. Um,
Awesome. Very
right?
cool.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So yeah, you definitely just want to continue to do that, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in this media space. That's for sure. Because, like I said, you seem like a pretty dope person, and you seem like you love sports. So I love that too. So
Yes,
that's
I do.
okay. So now, what I want to do, Alyssa, is ask you about some this or that questions. It's some interactive game that I do with my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. So
Okay.
I throw things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, Alyssa, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Do you eat chicken?
Do I eat chicken? Was that the question?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Reason why? Because some people are vegetarian. So, and this first question is about chicken. So I want to make sure. All right. So here
Got
we
it.
go. Now, which place are you going to out of these two chicken places? Popeyes or KFC?
Popeyes.
Okay, girl. You on point like a period. I like that. We starting off real good. We starting off real good. Okay. Here we go. Chicken wing flavors. Which one are you choosing to eat? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Barbecue.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Definitely wet.
Okay. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
So you like to get a little messy.
I do. I don't care if it's all over.
Girl, you would be a perfect friend. That's all I got to say. Give you a wet wipe and go to work. I love that. That's what's up.
Hmm.
Okay. I ask that always because people say that boneless wings are not wings. They're just chicken nuggets.
I can agree with that. I mean, I've eaten both, but I think if you're gonna eat a wing, it's gonna get all over, and that's the whole point.
Yeah, no question about it. Okay. I like it. My third sauce will be buffalo, but I didn't want to put that in there in the two. So, but I like buffalo as well. So enough said. Here we go. These next five questions have to do with which music concert you rather go to. So here's the
Okay.
first. Which music concert would you rather go to? Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Oh, I'm gonna say Kendrick because I like his new album right now a lot.
Whacked Out Murals. That's one of my favorite songs right now. I love that. I'm feeling
I
that.
don't know if
Okay.
I've heard that one yet, but I'll listen to it after.
That's the opening song. That's the opening song on the album.
Oh, I didn't even listen to that one, then I must have skipped it.
Okay, you good. You good. Say less. Okay. Which music artist would you rather go see in person? Chris Brown or Usher?
Usher.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. You said that like Usher. Like, uh-oh. You
Well,
don't like Britney?
I'm thinking of the dance move, so I think Usher would be
Mm,
better to watch.
okay. I'm with you on that. Okay. Which music concert would you rather go see? Carrie Underwood or Casey Musgraves?
Ooh, I do like Carrie Underwood, but Casey Musgraves for sure.
Yeah, Casey Musgraves is she's listen, she has a voice like an angel, but she is so
Hmm.
beautiful. There's no question
Yes,
about it.
I'll agree with
Absolutely.
that.
Hmm. Which music concert would you rather go to? Lady A or Zach Brown Band?
Definitely Zach Brown Band, I
Yep,
think.
I'm a Zach Brown Band fan myself. I'm with you on that. Okay. Which concert? Last of the concerts. Which concert would you rather go to? Would you rather go see SZA or Megan Thee Stallion?
Definitely SZA. I've been listening to her recently, so I gotta give it to that.
You ain't lying about that. Are you going to be inquiring about the concert coming up with her and Kendrick Lamar?
I did not know that was a thing. I
Yeah,
must be behind.
yes, they just dropped they're going to be doing a US tour together. It's a joint tour. Kendrick
Ooh,
Lamar.
I will be checking that out.
Okay, I'm glad to give you some 411. Their
Thank you.
first
I
stop,
appreciate that.
no question. Their first stop is here in Minneapolis. That's the only reason why I want to throw it out because I'm definitely going to be going to that. No question.
I
Okay.
need to find where they're gonna be at.
Yeah, they got a whole don't even worry about it. I'll send you the list. I got the whole list. So you good. Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. You welcome. All right. So now this next one is which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
I think bowling. I'm pretty good at bowling, so I think I could get some competition in there.
Okay, okay. I'm pretty good at bowling too, Alyssa. I'm just throwing that out there now. I'm pretty good myself. Okay. Do you need the bumpers?
No,
Okay.
that's not real. You can't do the bumpers.
No. Did you just say that's not real?
Mm-mm. My brother sucks at bowling, and so it really makes him mad when I win. So that's why I will go bowling with him any day because I'll win. So
It's always the angelic faces like yourself that gets really competitive and
hmm.
cutthroat. So you have to watch out for y'all. You got to watch out for y'all. My mother's the same way in bowling. Like she'll smile at you after she shoots a strike, and then she'll let you know that she'll let you know that she'll beat you down. So it's okay. I
Yeah,
get it. Okay, got you. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or hockey?
I think basketball.
You
Hockey's more
sure?
you got to go in person so you can see the
Yeah.
fights and everything.
Okay. Do you have a favorite basketball team?
I don't. I mean, I'm from Florida, obviously, but I don't pay attention to one enough, I would say.
Okay. I like
Yeah,
the realness.
yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Keep it real. Now keep it a buck. I appreciate that. All right. Do you like desserts?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Big
so I'm gonna
fan.
throw four categories, Alyssa, of desserts. You
Okay.
get to choose one of these that you'll never eat again. Okay. All right. So here we go. First one is ice cream. The second one is cookies. The third one is candy. The last one is cake/pies. Which one are you going with to get rid of?
I'm definitely going with the candy because I love my ice cream, so
Mm, that's
gotta keep
right.
it.
That is right. Okay. What is your favorite ice cream?
Definitely cookie dough ice cream for sure.
Wow, that is crazy. No, that would be my second favorite for sure. My second favorite.
What's
Um,
your first?
cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. Okay. Those would be
Yeah,
my top two as well. I That's why I couldn't get rid of the cookies or the cake or anything because like those have to go into the ice cream. So,
absolutely. And you
right.
can also get ice cream cake. You can have two in one. So
Yes. Yeah.
that'd be amazing. Red velvet is my favorite cake. So I love that. Okay, that's what's up. Do you like potato chips?
I do. I don't eat them very often. I'm a big chip girl all the time.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'm gonna throw four brands at you. You get to choose
That-
one of these brands that you'll never eat again. Okay, so here we go. First one is Ruffles. The second one is Lay's. The third one is Pringles. The last one is Doritos. Which one are you getting rid of that you'll never eat again?
I was gonna say this was hard, but I think it's gonna be Ruffles because they
Hell
are
no.
very versatile in their flavors. So
Oh no. Well, it's been fun. Oh, I guess we can't agree on everything. We can't agree on everything, right, Alyssa? We would be
no.
robots if we did. I understand. Sour cream and cheddar ruffles are the greatest chip ever made, in my opinion. Um, are you a salt and vinegar person?
Here and there, yes, I would say.
That explains a lot. That does. I think those chips are the second nastiest chips you can ever try in your life. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, just
Yeah, I
ever. If
told
I
you I
can,
wasn't a big chip girl, so when I do, it's like Doritos or something. So that definitely explains it. So
I rock with you on that. I always tell people if I can knock all the salt and vinegar chips off of the shelves and step on the bags and not get in trouble, I would definitely do that. But that's second worst. The first worst is Funyuns. Anybody that likes Funyuns in this world, God bless their heart. That's all I gotta say because they're awful. That's just what it is.
I agree with that.
Okay, I'm with you on that. We back on the same page. I love it. You did very good on the this or that. It shows that we have a lot of food in common, and we will actually watch a lot of the same stuff, which is pretty cool. So I love that. I love that, Alyssa, about you. So that's what's up. If it wasn't sports journalism, what career path would you have chosen to
Ooh.
go do, and why?
I'll give you two because one of them's funny because it's just something I always thought I was going to be a country singer when I grew up. When I was younger, I was like, I'm going to be the next Carrie Underwood, whatever. But on a real note, I would say I used to want to go to FSU. I didn't even
Mhm.
apply there, but that was when I was in high school. I was like, oh, I'll go there. And I wanted to do like business. I wanted to be like real estate, something of that sort, which is something I still think I could do, as like a side thing. But that was my plan before I really liked sports journalism. So
I think you can. I definitely can see you doing that because of the way that you like your persona, your personality, the way that you can advocate. I certainly would listen to you offer a house. That's for sure.
thank you.
No, no doubt, no doubt. It shows. But when you're doing speaking stuff and when you're broadcasting, it makes your public speaking skills more comfortable, more
Yeah.
sellable, and you can do those kind of roles. So it definitely helps out for sure. Now the country singing, I'm not gonna judge because I love to do karaoke. Are you a karaoke person? Do you like to do karaoke?
I will say when I'm out with my friends, sometimes we'll do that. So I am.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
okay. So I would love that. I would love maybe before he cheats. What is your karaoke song?
Oh, I will say the last one me and my friends did, we did Whitney Houston. I think it was what's the big one? Not I Will Always Love You, but the other one,
Oh, I want to
He's
dance with
dancing. Oh, I
somebody.
want to dance with somebody. Yes.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
that one. Yeah, so
Okay.
we were all in Key West. It was our spring break one year and we were all singing that. So it was really fun.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see video of that. That is amazing. That's
And
awesome.
we
So
were
y'all,
screaming too loud in the mic for sure.
I'm pretty sure y'all was. I'm pretty sure. That's pretty awesome
Yeah.
though. I love that. What is I want to ask you a top four question. What is a top four bucket list of things that you would like to cover as a future sports journalist in this industry?
I'm gonna go pretty big, but I would say obviously the Super Bowl for sure one day. That would be like a dream. I'll have to have that on your bucket list.
Hmm.
Um, Florida's been pretty good with the Stanley Cup, so I think maybe like a hockey game of some sort of like a Stanley Cup, something like that would be really awesome. And then definitely basketball of some sort. I mean, at school we've done some stuff, but definitely like a Final Four game, SEC championship, something of that sort would be great. And then I'd really well, I'm doing a bowl game this Friday, but I'd really like to do like a college football playoff game or something would be really cool. Hopefully my team could be in it, but if not, anything would be super fun.
Absolutely. Definitely have the same as far as two of yours, for sure. Definitely Super Bowl. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody that's a sports journalist don't want to do the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You gotta
Uh,
have that on your list.
you gotta have that on your list. I would probably say the Olympics. That would be a dream come true, especially being 28, being in my hometown state of California. That would be a dream. If
That would
I
be
could do
super
that,
fun.
Oh my gosh. And maybe in the Olympics where I can go international. Like that'd be cool too. Because I love to travel. So that'd be amazing. NBA finals for me. No question. Huge basketball fan. I would hope to see my team there too, but it's not looking very good. But I would love to do it. I would love to do an NBA finals for sure. And then lastly for me, definitely what you said about the National College Football playoff or Final Four. I would love to do either or. I know, and that's men or women's. I know the women's Final Four is in San Antonio this particular year. I'm not sure where the men's is at, but yeah, I would love to do a Final Four. That would be amazing to do that. I'm actually going to go to the Elite Eight this year
Oh,
because it's back.
awesome.
Yeah, it's back where my mom and uncle and my family is in Georgia. So it's in Atlanta, Georgia this year. So that particular weekend, I'm going to go and have a good time. So that's for
Very
sure.
fun.
Yes, indeed. I want to ask you about advice. We talked about advice you would give someone, that someone that called you from Purdue asked you about the internship. But what is some advice that someone gave you that you hold on dearly to?
So definitely in a lot of the things I've done, I did something this past summer with Laura Oakman. She's a Fox Sports reporter, and she
Yep,
has this company called Galvanize where she'll work
galvanize.
like, yes, yeah, young women. So they did something with the Commanders this summer, and so we got to like talk with we each were paired with a rookie. But with that, she taught us a lot about like everyone has a story. And I've learned a lot about when you're talking with someone, I think a lot of the athletes, if I do feature stories or something, it's let's talk about everything but the sport you play. And they actually really appreciate that because I feel like, obviously if you're doing a post game or you're at the game covering it, you're asking about the game itself. But
Sure.
anything other than that, they want to know a little bit more about themselves and they want to be able to talk about like what they do and what they've been through. So I think obviously diving deeper is helpful. And then she just taught me always that, especially with a lot of men in the industry, is like don't ever make anyone wait on you. Be confident and know what you're talking about. And I've experienced a little bit of it, just like, if you're always in a room with men, there's always going to say something. But for the most part, I don't have issues because I feel like people know where I stand. So I'm like, I'm not playing around. So that's kind of like what the advice I would say that I've been given that's like kind of been instilled in me. But I think my own self-values really carry me a long way as well, just like my character itself. And then, obviously I take after what other people say, but I try to just kind of have my own thing going.
Absolutely. Laura Oakman has definitely been a staple in this industry for a lot of years.
Yes.
Um, I would definitely always advocate for women journalism, women's sports journalism specifically, but journalism in a whole. I'm a huge advocate for it because a lot of the stuff that I've covered and things that I've done, I don't see a lot of women reporters locally.
Right.
You don't see a lot of women photographers. You just don't see a lot of faces in there. I've been into press conference rooms and there's not a whole lot. And it breaks my heart
Hmm.
because a lot of percentage of women make up for our audience that watch the game. It's also a great way to give different perspective. A lot of the rhetoric that you hear sometimes is that, well, when women, if you didn't cover it, you shouldn't report on it. So I mean, so we should take all the women out of football? Like I don't understand that. That's
Right.
crazy. That doesn't make any sense. To me, I will always be an advocate for it. I'm always going to talk about how we need more women in positions of reporting, radio, uh, even just all women shows. We need that because it offers a different perspective that maybe one wouldn't think about. And it also is going to pique people's interest to pay attention to not only what the fellas are saying, but what women are saying too. We should have more co-ed shows as well
Right. I
and
agree.
grace with each other. So I'm actually doing a feature story that's about 5 to 6 thousand words. And it's actually a part of my master's program because I actually graduated with my master's in May of 25. And my story is going to be about the inequalities of women's sports reporting as far as pay, um, uh, opportunities, and race. And I'm talking to several different women. And I'm also going to be writing my perspective as well of what I've seen being in the industry. Um,
Right.
So I definitely love to hear that advice that people give to you because I stand 1,000% behind it. I really want to be an advocate, and I want more people, more men like myself, should be out there talking, not just women.
Right. And thank you for writing your story. I think that will be awesome. And hopefully everyone you'll be able to show it to a lot of people. So,
I'm hoping to do that. Like I said, I'm hoping to do that. It'll definitely be done by this next May coming up because I get all semester to work on it because
oh
that's the only
wow,
class I have.
awesome.
So yeah, so definitely we'll be doing that. We are coming to the end of our podcast show. I want to do some rapid fire with you. So definitely first thing that comes to mind, Alyssa, and then you go ahead and rattle it off for me, okay? So last time I asked you, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Here we go. Burgers or tacos?
Tacos,
Okay. Chicken or ribs?
chicken,
Pancakes or waffles?
pancakes,
Favorite color?
purple,
Purple? Oh, I haven't
purple.
heard that. Oh, purple. Okay, guy. I
Yeah,
was like,
sorry. It like I was gonna say something else and it kind of rolled off my tongue, but purple.
oh, I ain't heard that color before. I got you. I feel you though. It's okay. It's okay. I'm messing with you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
favorite TV show.
TV show. Ooh, first thing probably Hawaii Five-O is my favorite.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I think that's the first I've heard of that. And it's a good show. It's pretty decent. Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
I think your camera just turned off.
Okay. Hold on.
There you
Are we
go.
back?
Yep, you're back.
Wow. Anywho, sorry about that. My phone is I'm on my phone is linked with my watch. So I'm sorry about
Oh,
that.
no
Got
worries.
you. Here we go. Okay, favorite, I'm gonna say non-alcoholic drink since you're not legal to drink.
Not till Saturday.
Not till Saturday.
I would say probably like Diet Coke or Sprite are my favorite drinks.
Okay, I like that. Favorite board game.
I guess you could say Uno. That's the first thing that comes to mind, so Uno.
Okay. Spades or dominoes.
Dominoes.
Okay. If you had a choice to bring three people, whether they were family, friends, or celebrities, with you on a vacation, so it's 3 plus 1 equaling 4, where would you go and who would you take?
Ooh, I'd probably go somewhere in Europe. Let's say London. London's one of my favorite places I've probably been to, besides Montana. So I'd say London. Well, I'll bring my brother. He's okay sometimes. Um, definitely my dad. And let's say probably one of my best friend Gina for sure. And I'm gonna bring my dog. She's a
Okay,
person
okay.
too. So
I got you. All right. I love that. If you had a choice to listen to three artists or three songs that you would never get tired putting them on repeat, who would those three artists or three songs be?
I'm gonna go with my three right now. Definitely Kendrick Lamar, Luther.
Mm,
Um, Justin Bieber, it's an older song, but it's called Flatline.
of
Um,
course, I know about that.
and I'll I'll throw a country song in there, probably um Beer Never Broke My Heart by Luke Combs.
That's a good one. That's a good one by Luke. Okay, you
Mhm.
got some good taste. You got some good
Yeah.
musical taste for sure. Two more for the rapid fire. What is the sport that you can play that you can absolutely dominate it?
I'd like to say it would be lacrosse 'cause that's what I played in high school, but I'm actually weirdly kind of good at basketball, but I just stopped playing it because everyone said I was too short to do it. But I was
Oh,
up there throwing threes a lot. So I would say I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at
okay.
basketball.
Okay, and that's my favorite sport. So whoever said that crazy statement, shame on you. Whoever said that, you are never too short to play a sport as well. I'm not basketball, not women's basketball for sure. Which sport would you play that you would absolutely suck in?
Uh, suck.
Be terrible.
I like softball, I think.
Really?
I
Wow.
remember playing one time and I got hit in the face and I was like, I'm done. So.
I got you.
Maybe I wouldn't eat the ball all the time is probably the issue would be.
That is true. Give me a top four of people that you would like to interview.
Ooh, since I'm a Bucks fan, I would love to interview Tristan Wirfs is like one of my favorite players on the team. Definitely I'm thinking of football right now, so I'm trying to
Okay.
think.
Okay.
I think another player I would love would be I'm trying to think of another team I really like. Oh, my next favorite team is the 49ers, so I think I'd love George Kittle. He just seems funny. Great.
He seems amazing, no
Yeah.
question.
And then let's find a different sport. I guess soccer, like one of the best players, Messi, like that would be really cool to do.
Legendary. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And then I'll give it to golf. I think Scotty Scheffler would be cool. Just I feel like there's a lot to ask and unpack about what happened last year. So
But he never lied. I was about to say you got to start off with that incident that
yeah,
happened. Sure.
that would be
No
pretty
question.
cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Last rapid fire question that is, listen, if they came to you and said you can only do one of these things in the genre of journalism, and that is write, produce, be in front of the camera, or do radio, which of these four would you choose?
I would definitely do on camera because not only do I like being in front of the camera, but I think that secretly you're doing all of that behind the camera anyway. So
I love it. I love it.
kind
I
of brings it
do.
all together.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Talk to me about this bowl game. You say you are out there in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. Talk to me about the bowl game. Florida, who are they playing? You say you play Saturday. What are some keys that people should look out for? Like, well, talk to me about it.
So bowl game's actually Friday, and then it's
Friday. Okay.
actually here in Tampa. So
Oh,
it's
so
the
it is in Tampa. I'm sorry.
Gasparilla Bowl. Yeah, no. I said Arizona because the MLB thing I'm doing is like in March, and it's in Arizona. But the
Okay.
bowl game's here in Tampa on Friday, so I'm glad I'm like right around the corner. But
Mhm.
I think Florida has a good chance of winning. I mean Tulane's defense is pretty awesome. And unfortunately, we had some guys enter the transfer portal, some key guys, but I mean, for the most part, a lot of them, we have a lot of the same players for sure. And I think this bowl game will definitely determine there's some people who are undecided about what they're doing for next season, so we'll kind of, bring that together a little bit. But I mean, Tulane doesn't really have a quarterback at the moment. I mean, they're one
Mhm.
entered the transfer portal, so
Yep.
there's a lot of talk about that as well. So it's kind of unsteady at the moment. But I mean, Florida dominated Florida State. They've dominated LSU. They've dominated Ole Miss. So I think right now they're on a high. And I don't really see that, for the first bowl game in a few years really stopping. So I think it's going to be electric and it should be really fun. And I think Florida's going to come on top. So just
They
based off, even
definitely should.
though, yeah, Tulane has a good defense, I think offensively, Florida are going to have something good going on there.
Absolutely. No question about it. I'd be remiss not to ask you, have you ever attended a Florida Georgia game in Jacksonville in your first 3 years in football?
Yes, first year I didn't go, but last year, my sophomore year, I went as a fan. This year I covered it, which I will say was pretty heartbreaking when our quarterback got hurt,
Yeah.
because we ended up losing the game. But I think we really could have had a chance. It was looking pretty good for us, so
Yeah, anybody that's ever lived in Georgia and Florida, and anybody that's ever been to the Jacksonville area of that game, you know the whole city is lit that
yes.
entire weekend. That Saturday, it is crazy. It
Yeah,
is
it was pretty fun.
no question about it. It is definitely fun. I've been there a couple times, um, and let's just say I've had a pretty good time each time I've been.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For sure, for sure, no question. This has been a pretty dope interview, Alyssa. Just really getting to know you and your background and being able to see that you're going to Florida. You're doing a lot of amazing things from taking classes, covering games, getting internships with CBS Sports, Fox Sports, doing a lot of different things. And I really do respect it. I found you based upon LinkedIn, but then when I was doing my research, the video that I saw you doing, you were talking about the Florida football team and their positions as far as breaking down each position.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that video and I was like, wow, this is pretty good, pretty knowledgeable. And I listened to it the whole 6 minutes and 43
Thank
seconds.
you.
To it, no question. And I just think that you're doing amazing things there, and you're going to continue to do. You have a great work ethic and a great personality, and I love the fact that you're doing what you love to do. And it is a blessing to really talk to somebody like yourself. It keeps me even more inspired to want to be able to do what I do. So thank you again for coming on to my podcast, sharing your why and your story about being in sports journalism. As I always do with every guest that I have on here. My last question is there anything else you would like to add about yourself or anything at all before we conclude?
Well, I just want to say thank you for letting me come on here. It's like not often that, people ask about you and like what you're doing and just kind of like the why and like how you got started. So I appreciate you letting me come on here and speak. And I just think for everyone whoever watches this, just to be inspired and to keep going and to stay motivated and that there's a lot of downs before you're up. So it's not everything's perfect and that, work hard and dedication will eventually show up. So patience is definitely key and any industry, but definitely like sports industry as well. So
I love that. Way to definitely no need for me to add on to that. You enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. You and I would definitely be in touch. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you and your family if we don't speak again before that.
thank you, you too. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.